They face elimination. And to stay alive, the Hornets and Clippers must win tonight or be swept from the playoffs. The Knicks and Hornets, the Jazz and the Clippers, next.
The loyal fans of the Charlotte Hornets are hoping their season doesn't end tonight. Down 2-0. The Hornets need a victory to stay alive in the first round of the playoffs. But the New York Knicks have other ideas. They're looking to sweep Charlotte and move on. Welcome to sold-out Charlotte Coliseum. Over 24,000 on hand as the Knicks and the Hornets in Game 3 of their opening round series. And good evening, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, along with Hubie Brown. The Hornets got some good news today. Muggsy Bogues, their 5'3" point guard, who came out of Game 1 with a strained hamstring and did not dress in Game 2, is starting and is playing. But there is no question the impact of Bogues not being ready to play in the first 2 games has had a negative effect on the Hornets so far in the series, Hubie.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Dick. Anytime no Bogues means limited fast break opportunities, and also the ball did not get into the lane off the dribble to break down the New York defense. Most of all, fourth quarter execution. Games 1 and 2 have been tied in the fourth quarter. But without Bogues, you have turnovers and also the ball not getting to the right perimeter shooters. Now, there are 3 other people who have been affected here, and they are struggling. You can see the regular season, excellent production, 36, 47, and 11. How about this? 10.5 points. That's a difference of 25 points from Curry and Pierce, your 2 perimeter guys, and then also Geiger moving without the ball. Now, if they're going to get it done here tonight, Dick, the 3-point stroke must come back and also take care of the basketball.
And on the other side of the coin, Hubie, the New York Knicks' big question were the ability of their guards to shoot. They did not shoot well at all during the regular season. It has been a different story so far.
They have been absolutely on fire, plus they're also taking care of the basketball. It's allowed the Knicks to play the 3 of them together. You can see during the regular season, the 37, 38, and the 7 turnovers. But how about this? A plus 13 in scoring. Their 3-point shooting is up, and then also their turnovers are down. Now, as a team, the Knicks are doing a great job. They're shooting 57% from the floor. Their half-court defense has been outstanding. Front court play consistent.
All right, but Muggsy Bogues in the lineup, and how is Muggsy going to stay afloat and keep going? Here's Craig Sager.
For the past 2 days, Muggsy Bogues has been receiving physical massage therapy. The massage loosens the scar tissue around the strained hamstring to provide more flexibility. Earlier, he had alternating hot and cold packs to bring fresh blood to the area and also to numb the pain, as well as electrical stimulation. That stops the pain message from going to the brain. The final score may be determined on the court, but the game may be won right here.
All right, the Hornets have beaten the Knicks 4 in a row here at the Charlotte Coliseum in 7 of their last 8. They hope that continues. Game coming up in a moment. Knicks going with the same lineup they've used for the first 2. Johnson, Oakley, Ewing, Houston, and Childs. The Hornets, of course, have Bogues, but also Del Curry, who missed 9 of the last 10 regular season games with a strained calf muscle. Coming off the bench in the first 2, is back in the starting lineup, replacing Ricky Pierce.
The reason for that being that Curry has a bad calf. He is only 1 for 10, only 5 shot attempts a game, Dick. And when you get 13 a game, you know that they want to match him up with Bogues and find him early.
Dan Crawford, Joe Forte, David Jones, the officials underway, and it's the Hornets possession. Bogues going right to the hoop on the first possession, and that will get the crowd going.
Well, that's what they need. They need him to break everything down, stop on a dime, get it out, find the forwards moving, or complete. Offensive foul there.
Nothing called. Bogues hit the floor, but no call. Chris Childs now driving into the paint, and he is tripped. And the foul is against Muggsy Bogues. So Bogues gets called with the foul after seemingly he was fouled by Childs.
Well, there's no doubt about it. That was definitely an offensive foul that happened right in front of us. Keep an eye on Childs. See, Bogues is very, very tough on a dribbler. Watch him guess. You see that? That is a deliberate offensive foul. He cleared him out with his right arm.
Knicks shooting 57% from the field in the first 2 games. Traveling is called against Larry Johnson. And LJ, who had a big game, 20-point effort in game number 1, now comes back to the place he was traded from. So, you know, the crowd will be behind Mason. And the enemy is Larry Johnson. Here is Del Curry. And Bogues wide open at the baseline. What a boost this has to give the Charlotte Hornets, Hubie.
Dick, remember in game 1 before he re-injured, you know, the hamstring, he had 13 points and was 3 for 3 on 3-point shooting.
And the Knicks have had a lot of problems with the transitional defense with Bogues in the lineup. The question is, can Muggsy stay healthy throughout the game? Chris Childs hits a 3. Childs, who made some big baskets down the stretch and had 17 in Saturday's game 2, brings the Knicks to within 1.
He's now 4 for 8 in threes in this series.
And Anthony Mason stuffs it right in the face of Patrick Ewing.
Now that's his first. That's his first on that move. Usually Ewing has been able to leave his man and come over and get a piece of the shot.
Larry Johnson with the fadeaway hits. And the score is 6-5 in favor of the Hornets. But the 2 players that the Charlotte fans wanted to see get off, Muggsy Bogues and Anthony Mason, did just that. Here is Mason. And Mason will be guarded by Johnson, and that's Glenn Rice who lays it in. Glenn Rice coming off a brilliant game. Rice scoring 39, a Hornet playoff record on Saturday.
Now you can see the Knicks are dragging a power forward to run Bogues off of in the backcourt.
Divac beaten to the basket by Johnson. Passes out to Allen Houston, and Houston hits from downtown.
The most impressive thing here is 21,000 people are going bananas. All right, Charlotte is doing great execution. The Knicks are right there. They're answering the bell.
No one has missed a basket yet. The Hornets are 4 for 4 from the field. The Knicks have hit all 3 of their shots. Del Curry defended by Allen Houston, and that's the first miss of the game. Mason facing Ewing.
You got to take Patrick. Face him and take him. Throw it in and then take him, because you got to. You want to make Patrick work early.
Bogues makes the 3. Muggsy Bogues has 7 of the first 11 points for the Hornets, who lead by 3.
Is that an omen? That ball was swirling out of the rim.
Here is Allen Houston dishing out to Oakley, but Glenn Rice playing tight defense against Oakley, nearly lost it, and now Childs does. Hornets lead 11-8. Charlotte with a big improvement, won 54 games after missing the playoffs by 1 game a year ago. Needing a win here after dropping the first 2 at Madison Square Garden in the best of 5. Here is Glenn Rice.
That's four.
And Rice, smooth. Glenn Rice, who hit 50% in the first 2 games. And a 5-point lead.
That is so hard to do, going to your left.
Steal by Del Curry. Childs is back, and Curry lays it in. And the Hornets come out to a 15-8 lead, and Jeff Van Gundy just stunned at Charlotte's opening foray. Driving the hoop is Houston, and a foul is called. That'll be against the Hornets, and Houston will shoot 2.
Now keep an eye on Glenn Rice here as he comes off. Now that's just a dribble, stop, step back, and shoot. Now you're shooting that one from a step behind the 3-point line. Now that was a long distance range bomber.
Here is Allen Houston, who came up big so far in the series, as Hubie pointed out. Childs, Houston, and Starks. But look at the numbers for Allen Houston. Has raised his average nearly 4 points in the playoffs, and the shooting by a wide margin. The foul was on Divac, his first. And it's 15-10 Charlotte.
So you hit the key. The three guards for the Knicks are all shooting 52% or better. Now, can they continue that?
Here's the pick and roll to Divac. Basket counts and a foul. Bloody Divac, and now the Hornets coming out 8 out of 9 to start the game from the field.
Now, Oakley has rotated twice. Watch Oakley come into your picture right here. Now, in high school and college, that would have been a charge, but not in the NBA. They're not giving it to you. It's the unwritten area because they don't want guys low-cutting, high-priced diesel engines. Let's face it, all right?
High price, underline, underscore.
There you go.
Divac misses the free throw. Hornets 83% from the line in the first 2 games. One of the few areas they've had an edge on the Knicks at foul shooting, but Hornets up by 7. Divac defending against Johnson, and Johnson goes strong to the hoop. That's twice Larry Johnson has beaten Vlade Divac off the dribble.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected. I was surprised that Divac, jumped up in the air, forced him to make the outside shot.
Anthony Mason controlling, picked up by Charles Oakley. Double team leaving Bogues free. Bogues in the crowd. Ewing doing a good job on Divac. And Divac slips it up, and Ewing with a fine defensive job. Here's Childs penetrating. Bad pass to Oakley. And that's the 4th Knick turnover in the first quarter.
Knicks are back.
Mason.
Nice.
Good ball movement by the Hornets, and Rice from downtown.
Now that was pretty, Dick, because 2 guys could have forced the shot. Bogues and Divac. They rotated the ball back and caught Glenn Rice coming as the trailer.
22nd timeout called by the Knicks. And the Hornets, who led the NBA in record-breaking fashion from three-point territory, using that weapon, and a lead of 8.
Now this is just a good look by Divac, catching Rice coming down. He was late coming across half court.
Hornets lead by 8 with 6:51 to go in the first quarter. Last Thursday in the opener of the series at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks won, shooting 58% and red hot from three-point territory. And then Saturday's game 2, the Knicks again winning 100-93, outscoring the Hornets in the fourth quarter 21-12. Hornets led in both games early in the fourth quarter, but they faded in the fourth, and the Knicks played big.
Well, we want to underline that again, Dick. It was turnovers and then lack of getting the ball to your high percentage shooters. They just could not get it done. Knicks a +9 in both games in that fourth quarter.
Meanwhile, the Knicks have turned it over already 4 times, resulting in 9 Charlotte points. Following the 22nd timeout, they go strong to Patrick Ewing, who's fouled. Patrick Ewing coming off a 30-point game and good passing out of the double team will go to the line to shoot 2. Glenn Rice picking up the Hornet foul.
Well, in this series, Patrick really struggling from the line. He's only 1 for 7, shooting 14%. He has the 22 points. He's getting his 16 shot attempts. He's doing a fair job on the board. He's only averaging 8 rebounds a game in the series. And
you talked about Ewing's problems. It's catching. He'll be there shooting 52% from the free throw line as a team in the first 2 games, and now Ewing 1 of 8 from the line. 1 out of 2 for Patrick, and it's 20-13 in favor of Charlotte. Childs knocks it away, and it's last touched by Bogues. So good, tenacious defense by Chris Childs, forcing the turnover.
This is going to be a terrific battle. Childs is averaging in this series up over 15 points a game, and he and Bogues, just an excellent match because they're 2 very good defenders.
Allen Houston with a good pass to Larry Johnson. The Knicks, even though they trail, are not playing badly at all, save for those early turnovers, now by 5.
Any dribble penetration by the Knicks, they're catching Charlotte. They're very slow in the rotation.
Muggsy Bogues in the lane, now with 9 points. So Bogues with 9, Glenn Rice with 7. Leading the Hornets, who lead 22-15. Knicks are 5 of 5 from the field. So they've been sharpshooters, and Allen Houston 6 for 6 with his second from downtown to bring the Knicks to within 4.
In this series, he's now 8 for 13 in threes.
The Knicks guards continue to play well early here in this third game. Bogues faked a shot downtown. Now they go low into Mason, and the fadeaway against Oakley, and the rebound into the hands of Chris Childs.
Big thing for Oakley, do not let Mason beat you off the dribble. Make him shoot over the top. He's got to prove that he can make that jump shot.
Ewing guarded by Mason here, and Patrick Ewing has it deflected by Mason. Johnson is there, and it's tipped up and in by Oakley. Charles Oakley with the alert tip-in, and the Knicks have come within 2.
The thing I don't like about the Charlotte game at the defensive end, they are not reacting at all to anything loose.
Glenn Rice, 9 points for Rice. So Rice and Bogues each with 9, and they're each 4 for 4 from the field.
Now, you know, Dick, we're seeing the Knicks. They're handling a heavy knockdown in like in a heavyweight fight. They're shaking it off, and they're still right here, right on the money.
Larry Johnson hits from downtown, so we're seeing a flurry of 3-point shots. The Knicks have 4, and the Hornets have 2. And the Charlotte lead is 1. So the Knicks hanging in there despite the early flurry. And a turnover, Larry Johnson. And Bogues knocks it away from him, but can't save it. Muggsy Bogues is not saving anything facing that Titan hamstring.
Well, he realized that he made a mistake at the one end of the floor. And then, you know, you see he gets in here right now, and for one of the very few times you're seeing him, he could not find anyone because he had left his feet. But look at him run down this basketball to knock it loose. It was too late. The foot was out of bounds before he called for the 22nd.
Leading the NBA in assist-to-turnover ratio is Muggsy Bogues.
For his career, 5 assists for every turnover. He's now won that for 7 out of the 9 years that he's played in this league. And for all you little guys out there, he's only 5'3", and he's only 141 pounds. And when he went to Wake Forest, they said he couldn't do it. They retired his number. And when Washington drafted him number 12, they said he'll never do it. He's only in his 10th year. That's all.
That's all. And he's on the bench now, replaced by Tony Delk. So right now, it'll be interesting to see how the Hornets handle the ball handling duties. Without Bogues, they are really shaky because Delk, who can score, doesn't handle the ball that well, and neither did Tony Smith in game 2. Glenn Rice is fouled by Larry Johnson.
Anytime that you play strictly one-on-one basketball against the Knicks, and that's what's happened with this group that's out there right now for Charlotte. If they go to one-on-one basketball, that helps the Knicks in their rotations and double teaming.
Plays into their hands, and now you see Muggsy Bogues getting treated to try to keep that hamstring loose over on the sideline. And the free throw by Rice is good. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, Muggsy said that he'll be all right. He's at full strength, but the danger is when he extends the hamstring. And that is what he did when he tried to save that ball going out of bounds. So they immediately want to stretch it, put heat on it, so it does not knot up as it did on Saturday. Dick?
All right, Craig, and we have seen the effect of having Muggsy Bogues really going all out in the early going for
they're a different team, Dick. Glenn Rice, by the way, is averaging 10 foul shot attempts in this series, and he did it for the season. 10 a game.
15 of 17 in game 2. He has 11 points already, and he's had big games against the Knicks. Larry Johnson beats Divac off the dribble, and the Knicks have been able to beat the big man off the dribble countless times already.
Wow, there's no rotation, Dick. You do not see another white shirt there. So the key with the Knicks is continue to take it strong to the hole.
Knicks by 1, 27-26. Ricky Pierce into the game, has the shot deflected. And that was Charles Oakley who got a hand on that ball. Houston is hot, goes for 3 again. Not this time. And Divac gets the outlet to Glenn Rice. Rice finds Delk. He's going to be open for the jumper. And Allen Houston comes up with it.
I like the way the Knicks are pushing the ball. The Knicks ball movement in this series has been terrific.
And a timeout called by the Knicks with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. Ewing has got only 1 point, but the Knicks are up by 1.
Well, it's still the same, but, you know, with Muggsy in there, you have to be a little more careful with the basketball and aware of where he is at all times because he changes the game on the defensive end because he comes back and he helps out the big guys and he puts a lot of pressure on the ball. So you really have to be aware of it, where he is. And offensively, he pushes the ball better than anybody in the league to get their transition game going. And we're going to have to be aware of that and get back on defense.
Bogues has hurt the Knicks in the past. He has had that hamstring taped up right now. There you see Bogues with 9 points, 4 for 4 shooting, and Chris Childs who's going to be guarding him. Knicks, following the timeout, will inbound the ball. They have 18 seconds on the shot clock.
What you have to remember is that before the playoffs, Charlotte beat the Knicks 12 out of the last 15 times they played. So, you know, this isn't something you got to give the Knicks a lot of credit. They've answered the bell.
Oakley lays it in, and the Knicks lead by 3. So Bogues out of action, and the Charlotte Hornets have just gone to a dead halt ever since Bogues has come out of the game. Mason working his way in, gets his second field goal, and it's 29-28. Leading scorers so far, Glenn Rice 11 for the Hornets, and Larry Johnson off to a 5-for-5 start, has 11 for the Knicks.
Well, Charlotte's going to have to tighten things up here, because right now it's just too easy for the Knicks. They're getting easy layups, high percentage, wide open shots.
Donald Royal has come in for the Hornets, and now John Starks enters for the Knicks. Royal, who has yet to play in the playoffs. Johnson goes out having scored 11 points with 3 assists on perfect shooting. There is Donald Royal, who had played with Orlando and was a good pickup for the Hornets.
Yeah, he's a good defender at 6'8", a slasher.
Allen Houston for 3. That's the third from downtown. And Allen Houston, who was an inconsistent shooter all season long, has gotten very aggressive offensively. And this is the shooting guard the Knicks had wanted when they got him from Detroit. Here is Ricky Pierce, and Pierce off the glass. Ewing gets the rebound. The Knicks lead by 4. Has quieted this capacity crowd in a big way. Here is Childs with a fall away. Mason the rebound. But the Hornets have not been impressive since that early 8-point lead. Rice over Houston for 3, and he's always impressive.
Yeah, he is, because there are very few big men in this game who can just catch and elevate and knock down the 3. They need a bounce. A lot of them need a bounce so that they can get their momentum going up.
Patrick Ewing with a fall away, and the rebound by Donald Royal, and a foul by John Starks.
Good call.
Want to remind you, coming up next, Game 3 out of the Western Conference between the Utah Jazz, the team with the best record in the West, against the LA Clippers, who are trying to stay alive at the Sports Arena. That's coming up right after our game here on TNT.
Now, the next foul in this next minute and 40 seconds at either end will be the penalty.
Matt Geiger, who has struggled in the early going. Remember, he's been slowed with a back injury, and Dave Cowan's telling us today it's the same kind of stiff back he experienced at the beginning of the year. He missed 27 games with back surgery, and Ewing on the bench now for the Knicks.
Now, you have Curry with a bad calf, Mason with a bad foot, meaning a toe and also a ligament, and then you have Geiger with a bad back.
Buck Williams, of course, replacing Patrick Ewing. 8 on the shot clock. Here is Mason working in against Buck Williams. Delt goes right back into Mason with 2 on the shot clock. Traveling call. And it seems whenever Anthony Mason has the ball, everything stops. No ball movement, and the players just...
Yeah, well, see, another thing, Dick, there are no cutters. That's kind of interesting. See, there are no cutters through. Now, he is averaging 4 turnovers a game in this series. Now, that's way too much.
Here is Buck Williams, guarded by Geiger. Buck with a pump fake and a miss. Mason gets hit in the face, and a foul will be called against Buck Williams.
Yeah, he scratched him.
And that's the 15th foul, as you pointed out moments ago. It's the shooting penalty coming up for the Hornets.
See, Mason is always a key assist guy for them. Now, just watch this. You're going to see a good block right there by Geiger. All right, then you're going to see a scratch right there. You can see Buck Williams swing in with his left hand, catch Mason across the face.
Charlie Ward will come into the game as the Knick point guard, replacing Childs, as the first free throw by Mason is missed. Mason 7 of 12 now from the free throw line in the series.
The only 2 players for Charlotte who are getting to the line, we have Rice getting there 10 times a game in this series, Mason getting there for 6 attempts.
Mason having a career year, as you saw his numbers, misses both free throws, and the rebound by Oakley. The Knicks by 1, under a minute to go, 32-31 in a high-scoring first quarter. And Allen Houston now with 13 points, including 3 from downtown, and he is red hot. Here is Donald Royal throwing up an air ball into the hands of Oakley. And Delk commits the foul on John Starks, and now the Knicks will be shooting.
Yeah, bad foul. You know, the main thing is you're trying to get back at this time in the game. Just don't get a silly foul. There was no place for him to intercept that ball. That was a bad angle.
So following the early spark by Muggsy Bogues, who has not come back in the game after going out and has had his hamstring tape, the Knicks have dominated the Charlotte Hornets. They're only up right now by 3 with Starks shooting. But the way the Knicks are playing, it should be more than that.
Well, Dick, you have to look at it this way. During the course of the year, the Knicks only averaged 95 points a game. They scored over 100 in games 1 and 2, and we are on our way to game 3 of over 100 points. And this is Allen Houston at his finest. A year ago for Detroit and Doug Collins, he averaged 25 points a game in that first round series that they lost to Orlando, and he is on fire in this series.
And he's gotten aggressive. That seems to be the buzzword with Houston. If he's aggressive, he's like the Allen Houston of last year with the Pistons. Pierce feeding the post to Royal, out to Mason, and Delk shooting from the corner with a defender in his face, and the rebound by Charlie Ward. And here it starts like a wide receiver over his shoulder, lays it in, and the Knicks lead by 7, 38-31. And the Hornets getting beaten badly in almost every phase of the game. And ever since Bogues went out, the Knicks have outscored the Hornets 15-7. Here is Tony Delk with the jumper, and they've thrown up more air balls in this quarter than you would expect in an entire game.
Well, the difference is at one end of the floor, the Knicks are laying the ball up and they're going to the basket, or they're wide open on set plays. At the other end of the floor, every shot that Charlotte takes, because it's in one-on-one situation, a hand is in their face and they're making it difficult for them. And then the Knicks are holding them to one shot.
Anthony Mason goes to the bench, and Malik Rose comes in, the rookie from Drexel. But Allen Houston having a brilliant first quarter with 13 points on 4 for 5 shooting, including 3 from downtown, and the Knicks stunning the Hornets after that early start, 38-31. And welcome back to the Charlotte Coliseum, where after one quarter the Knicks lead the Hornets 38-31. And we've allowed Hubie to take his jacket off because he can finally relax, because his daughter Ginny finally gave birth. This guy's a grandfather for the 3rd time. Timothy Brown Foster, 8 pounds 12 ounces 22 inches. Congratulations, big guy.
No, congratulations to Ginny and Chuck, and we're very happy that mother and baby are both fine.
Well, that's great. So the grandfather could be in shirt sleeves at least for another quarter. Then we'll go back to our rules.
The shooting at the end of first quarter, New York 74%, Charlotte 62.
Here's Allen Houston, and he hits another three. 16 for Houston. He's already hit 4 from downtown.
The Knicks are now 6 for 7 in threes. Charlotte 3 for 4.
So the Knicks picking up where they left off. The Hornets were the best three-point shooting team in the league, and the Knicks had their problems. But the Knicks have gone downtown so far in this series in a big way. And Malik Rose is fouled before the shot. Right now, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, Dave Collins and Anthony Mason are not on the same page as to how this offense is supposed to be run without Muggsy Bogues in the game. Collins made a suggestion to Mason. He basically showed some disrespect for his coach and was taken out of the game with 1.7 seconds to play in the first quarter. Right now, he's pouting down at the end of the bench. I imagine we'll see him back in right now. But Mr. Collins is not happy with Mr. Mason.
And, of course, if you watch the game, you see that when Mason gets the ball, he just stops and doesn't make a move, and the offense just grinds to a halt.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there is no continuity, and they would like him to face and take his guy quickly. It's not happening. The Knicks have been doing a great job defensively in this series.
Matt Geiger with the reverse layup. Larry Johnson back in the game for the Knicks right now.
Well, we always say something during the year, and that is the Knicks will let you back. So the big key is you know that this torrid shooting is not going to stay at either end.
Muggsy Bogues has come back in the game. John Starks misses a three, and Geiger the rebound. So Bogues bringing it up. He's got Rice, along with Malik Rose, Tony Delk, and Matt Geiger, who gets the offensive rebound.
That's what they need.
Geiger throws it away, and Tony Delk fouls Starks for the 2nd time. So after a good offensive rebound, or careless cross-court pass.
That was only the second offensive rebound in this game for Charlotte, and then you compound a negative by making a diagonal pass to the other side of the floor. There was no need to. You have two guys open close by.
Houston with the ball. He's got Charlie Ward with him, and up front, Buck Williams and Larry Johnson. John Starks gives the Knicks the 3-guard offense right now, so they're going small at this point. Geiger is defending against Larry Johnson. Fadeaway by Johnson. 13 points for Larry Johnson. Second to Allen Houston, 16. Nearly 2 minutes gone by, and there is Glenn Rice guarded by Houston. Once again, the Charlotte Hornets not moving without the ball, and the rebound by Williams.
The thing that's just kind of surprising is that they haven't run Rice down inside yet, because Houston is guarding him. He can post him up at will, and you know the Knicks will front, so the lob pass is there.
And Larry Johnson throws the ball away. No one near it. And a timeout. So Jeff Van Gundy has to like what he sees so far as the Knicks try to sweep the Hornets. They lead by 10. With the Knicks up by 10, want to remind you of a big night of basketball tomorrow night on Turner Sports, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern on TBS. The Heat trying to sweep the Magic. They've been impressive. And then at 8 o'clock on TNT, Game 3 of the Hawks and Pistons at the Palace. They're 1-1 in that series. And then the second half of the TBS doubleheader, Rockets trying to make it 3 in a row against the young T-Wolves. And then the final game, Sonics and Suns, Game 3 in Phoenix. And that'll start at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. So stay with us. NBA playoff action. It's getting hotter.
Now they're bringing it. They tried to bring Rice into the pivot that time.
And Malik Rose gets it out to Tony Delk, who hits from downtown. Delk has been an outstanding scorer. He is the third leading scorer for the Hornets, averaging 14 a game so far in the series and playing 20 minutes more than he did in the regular season.
He's done a very nice job in threes.
Here is Ewing, who has only 1 point thus far. Buck Williams just kisses it into the basket. So Buck Williams with the hoop, and it's 45-36 in favor of New York.
The most shocking thing in this game is not the three-point shooting and not the fact that Charlotte's having trouble getting a clean shot. The shocking thing are the amount of layups that the Knicks have made, and we still have 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go here.
Glenn Rice is fouled in three-point territory. Or is it 2? Now they say it's 2. He was inside the arc, and he'll go to the line as Larry Johnson committing his second foul. Glenn Rice, who had a string of 14 consecutive free throws in the game, the NBA record of 17 before he missed, shooting 2. The Hornets got off to a fast start thanks to Muggsy Bogues, who scored 9 points in the first quarter, led by 8 early, and then the Knicks came storming back. The Knicks very impressive, shooting over 70% in the first quarter and still over that mark at 74.
Well, you know, during the course of the year, he was 10th in foul shooting at 87%. And the main thing is we know that he was first in threes at 47, but he scored right at 27 points a game and has been very consistent here in the playoffs.
Bogues all over Charlie Ward, the backup point guard for the Knicks. And on the switch, Ward lost the ball, and now Johnson throws it away. And the Hornets down by 7, trying to come back, and the crowd getting back into this game. They were quiet for quite a while.
Now they have Larry Johnson on Glenn Rice now.
Here is Delk trying to beat Starks off the dribble, and a great feed to Divac, kicked out of bounds, and last touched by New York. So it'll be the Hornets ball, and they have 8 seconds to try a shot.
Now just watch this now. It's a nice pass to Divac, but Divac should have taken this one up. You see right there, he should just take it up. He would have gotten fouled. Instead, he tried to thread a needle.
Bogues off to Rice. Ewing picked up Rice, and Glenn Rice misses, and the loose ball, and it's put up by Rose. Malik Rose out of Drexel in Philadelphia. You think of the big 5 in Philadelphia. I guess there's a big 6 with Drexel.
I'll tell you, with this young guy, every time they give him minutes, he answers with rebounds and hustle.
5-point game, and Johnson feeding Buck Williams nicely, but Williams couldn't get it to go down. And now the crowd on its feet, waving white handkerchiefs The Hornets trailing by 5 with 7:38 to go in the first half.
He wanted to take that.
Larry Johnson.
Oh, Larry Johnson did a nice job on the dribble on him.
Bogues out to Delt for 3. And Ewing knocked out of bounds by D-Bots, and it'll be Knicks ball.
I'll tell you, on the first 2 moves by Bogues, Larry Johnson did a nice job playing on the dribble. Eventually, when he got by him, he was behind the basket. He had no attempt for a shot.
And those two still very close friends, as Johnson concerned with Bogues' hamstring problems in New York. Ewing called for the offensive foul.
That was a flop. Okay. Now, did he hit him in the chest? Yes, he did. He steps back into him. There's no doubt about it. But this is a big-time flop right there. Look at this. Are you kidding? I mean,
I didn't know D-Bots was that weak, Hubie.
Come on. Well, he was out in L.A. for all those years. You get it by osmosis out there.
A lot of bean sprouts, huh?
There you go.
Glenn Rice so far with 16 points. Houston with 16 tops the Knicks. Double team on Rice. Mason back in the game for the Hornets. Plenty of time on the shot clock. D-Bots moving in on Ewing. The quick double team. Bogues is open and misses downtown. And Ewing gets the rebound for New York.
They're going to double team hard, Patrick.
And D-Bots hand on, and Larry Johnson picks up the loose ball and puts it through for the Knicks, and they're up by 7.
The Knicks' hustle points have been outstanding. Any loose ball at their offensive end of the floor, they come up with it.
Bugsy Bogues defended by Charlie Ward, and now Rice at the top with 8 on the shot clock. 6.5 remaining in the first half. And there's D-Bots firing long range. That's not the shot the Hornets wanted, but they get the ball back. And now the 24-second buzzer sounds, but the ball definitely hit the rim, at least from our vantage point.
Yeah, it did. It hit the rim. Everyone was on it. All 3 referees had the call.
Right now the clock's showing 0, but it'll be Charlotte's ball, as the ball definitely hit the rim before the 24-second clock expired.
Now, once again, D-Bots is, long on his shots. Now, this has happened quite a few times in this game.
And the Hornets did not get a good shot. They had to rush that one up to begin with.
Well, that's been the Knicks consistent. They are running hard at anyone on the perimeter, and they're forcing you to get it off early.
Mason finding Bogues. 12 on the shot clock. D-Bots down low. Bogues gets back to D-Bots. And the repost, and D-Bots with a wild shot off the glass, and the Knicks pushing it up. John Starks working against Tony Delt. No-look pass inside to Johnson. The Knicks looking very sharp so far in this first half, but Starks off the rim. And now a 3-on-2 break for the Hornets.
Waited too long.
Bogues to Delt. And he misses. Very sloppy. And the Charlotte offense in disarray.
All right, right now, here's Glenn Rice with the basketball. Here's Muggsy Bogues coming into the middle, and you're filling the lane. Now, just watch. There's one defender, and keep an eye on John Starks catching this play, because the dribbler keeps the ball. Always pass the ball up in front. You would have had a 2-on-1 if you put the ball into Bogues. And what happens now, you end up with a bad situation.
The Hornets hit 10 of their first 12 shots of the game in the first 6 minutes, and then they've been 30% since. And now you see they're shooting 27% in the second quarter. The Knicks still red hot, leading by 7. 5:35 remaining in the first half. Chris Childs with Johnson, Buck Williams, Ewing, and Starks. And Johnson is short with it, and a foul call against the Hornets. That's their 3rd team foul. And it'll be called against Glenn Rice. 2 on Rice.
The Knicks' half-court offense has been outstanding. Their spacing is beautiful. Their continuity, all of their screening, they're getting exactly what they want out of every possession. At the other end, there's a little disorganization, and it's too much one-on-one, and they are struggling to look for a high-percentage shot.
Buck Williams with the offensive rebound converts. So the Knicks now lead by 9, 49-40.
Good point to bring out now is to say, the Knicks, they've been up and down all year. They won 57 games. and they had the second best record to Chicago against the teams that are in the NBA playoffs. That's saying a ton.
And they beat the Bulls twice, including once at United Center, where Chicago lost only 2. Del Curry on the feed from Vlade Divac, and it's 49-42. Del Curry started tonight's game and has 4 points. Ricky Pierce had started the first 2.
Now, remember, Del Curry averages 15 during the course of the year. They need his points.
Starks misses from the perimeter. Ewing tips it up, and Mason fighting for the loose ball, and it's last touched by the Knicks. Buck Williams, a veteran, really giving the Knicks some great inside play off the bench this year.
Yeah, now Buck is just all over the place. He's an excellent post defender. He's on the All-NBA defensive team at least 4 times, and he's going to be hustling. When he's out there for his 23 minutes, he's giving you 100 every night.
Played with the Nets, but got to the NBA Finals with the Portland Trail Blazers on 2 occasions. 49-42 in favor of the New York Knicks with under 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Glenn Rice has only 2 points in the second quarter, but makes a feed to Divac, who's fouled. Rice with 16, 14 in the first quarter, but a fine pass, and the foul is against Buck Williams' second.
Now, once again, Rice, as he goes up, makes the drop-down pass. Now, that's twice in a row now. Movement without the ball on the baseline. First to Curry, this time to Divac. Now that's what you like. Send it down strong. You prefer him taking it 2 hands because you take it with one. Many times you get knocked off balance or they block the shot.
You got it all figured out.
No, I don't.
I mean, you know all of the different ramifications.
No, what I'm saying right now is that Charlotte has got to weather this storm of layups at one end of the court, regroup defensively, and come out and give a better defensive effort in the second half.
Divac's 1 out of 2, and it's 49-43. The Knicks lead. They've been up by as many as 10 points. Allen Houston, who has been on fire. Now here's Ewing in the low post with a tough baseline shot, fouled by Divac.
There you go.
Divac with his second personal foul.
Now he's all upset. See, he didn't think, but he got Patrick pretty good that time. And you know what it was, Vic? It was the delay. Just watch as you go down in here. See, as Patrick moves, now just watch. He gives it. There you go. He came right into him.
So Patrick Ewing on the free throw line as Divac continues to complain about that foul call. Ewing is 2 of 8 from the line, 2 of 9 actually in this series, and has yet to hit a shot from the field. He's 0 for 3, and Divac still arguing that call. Ewing, who admitted he was rusty in game 1, has had sore knees and did not practice for 5 days prior to that first game, felt a lot better in the second game as he would, scoring 30. 51-43, the Knicks lead the Hornets with 3:48 remaining in the first half. Anthony Mason, who has not been a factor, going strong with a basket and misses the layup, knocked away, and it'll be Knicks ball.
See, once again, Anthony Mason makes a strong move to the basket. But throughout this series, Ewing is leaving his man, coming across, and disrupting the shot.
Charles Oakley, who checked back into the game at the last dead ball. Now Ewing again in the low post, looking for his first field goal of the game, and a foul as the ball was slapped away, but they got Ewing's hand, and that will be the 15th foul, and the Knicks will shoot as the Hornets are in the penalty.
Yeah, Mason tried to strip him, so he knows he's not going to block Patrick's shot because of the size difference. He tried to strip him before Patrick got the ball up above his number.
Only one judge as the inscription on Anthony Mason's scalp. Ewing, who's struggled from the free throw line, now 4 of 6 from the line, and the Knicks lead by 9 with 3:22 to go in the first half. It's run by 7 after 1.
So you have Curry and Glenn Rice out there right now.
Rice with a baseline shot.
Stop and think of when they have been open coming off the screen. Everything they've got to create by running without the ball hard or with Rice dribbling and shooting over people.
That was Rice's first field goal of the second quarter. He has 18 points now. Here is Childs getting the pass back from Larry Johnson, and the rebound into the hands of Mason. Here's Muggsy Bogues.
Nice.
And filling the lane is Divac, but he cannot convert, and the Knicks come up with it again. Hornets struggling on the offensive end, even when they get a fast break opportunity here.
I'm impressed all night with the Knicks transition defense. They get back. They've been getting back and picking up and sacrificing their bodies.
Allen Houston tries a drive in the lane, and a foul is called on the Hornets, and the Knicks will shoot again. That is Anthony Mason's second personal foul.
The fact that the Knicks were -8 per game in rebounding, I think they've taken that as a challenge. Glenn Rice at the top of the circle here has been a distributor. You're going to see this man clear out, the defender go with him. As the ball is dribbled, John Starks will take a look. Anytime your man turns his head, watch Del Curry go to the basket. Now this is just nice. Now just watch. You're going to see now Starks is trying. Let's see, he gets too high on his man. He loses Curry. Beautiful backdoor and execution.
Not seen enough of it from the Hornets standpoint, as Del Curry, who came into the game 1 of 10 shooting in the series and starting. Charles Oakley on the line. The Hornets in the penalty, and Oakley with the free throw. The Knicks, of course, everyone wants to know whether they can stand prosperity after doing well, and this is where the Knicks have faltered during the season, when they have won a couple of games, felt good about themselves, and then, you know, fell into a slump and got a little overconfident. But so far tonight, they look like they are on a roll, and of course they finished the season on a roll, winning 4 of their last 5. 54-45, a 9-point lead. Muggsy Bogues with the ball for the Hornets as we get close to the 2-minute mark in this first half. Here is Glenn Rice. Johnson is all over Rice.
See, the continuity is getting them nothing. No one is open coming off of the screen.
Got to work too hard for their shots. Curry misses from the baseline. Divac is rejected by Patrick Ewing. The Knicks have a 3-on-2 break, and Oakley leaves it for Larry Johnson, who lays it in.
The big fellas coming down like thundering herd.
The former Hornet, 17, thundering herd, Marshall University. You know the nicknames of all those schools.
I did their banquet on occasion.
We'll give you a quiz soon on maybe some that you didn't do the banquet, and then see what you get.
Now just watch this block. Divac sends that up soft. Patrick sends it out. And here we have the Oak Man. Now just watch it now. Here comes. If you catch, and then you're going up strong. And as they kick out to Oakley, just a real nice finish here. Oakley and Larry Johnson put this one home.
Knicks have taken the crowd out of the game in a big way. Here is Larry Johnson spinning his way in with a turnaround. He doesn't make it in the rebound by Mason. It's an 11-point lead for the Knicks with 1:15 to go. Muggsy Bogues hits, and he gave the crowd something to cheer about early on, but this crowd has been sitting on its hands because the Knicks have taken over and have played like they want to eliminate the Hornets and move on quickly with a sweep. Here is Allen Houston with a lay-in. The basket counts and a foul. So Larry Johnson and Allen Houston combining for 35 points on 14 of 16 shooting tonight.
Just watch the lack of rotation defensively to help Curry in this situation. A guy came in tonight. See, everyone is late getting there, but it has been consistently late for the entire half. At the other end, you put it on the floor and go down into that painted area, you're going to run into at least one other Knick, maybe 2, as you're going down inside.
So Allen Houston showing it's no mirage, misses the free throw, but Charlie Ward gets the rebound. Houston misses, and the Hornets playing like they're in a fog for a good part of this game. They're not getting any loose ball.
Dick, when you win 54 games and you end strong the way they did, and a good record against 500 teams, you expect more from them in their home game in the playoffs. You expect them to take charge and set a tone.
Allen Houston fouls Glenn Rice. Coming up at halftime, the Nike halftime report with our gang in the studio, Ernie Johnson, Reggie Theus, joined by the Raptors head coach, Darryl Walker. And they'll look at Grant Hill's first playoff win last night and preview the upcoming Game 3 between the Jazz and the Clippers. 20 on the shot clock, 34 on the game clock. 11-point lead. Bogues loses the ball, and a foul called against Charlie Ward. And now the Knicks are over the limit, and Bogues will go to the line.
Charlie Ward has done a nice job on Muggsy. See, they're not going to let him go out because they know they're getting help on the baseline on Bogues anytime he goes down inside there. That was a good call.
Now Jeff Van Gundy wants to talk to his guards. He's got 3 of them in the game, but he wants to talk to Childs and Houston. Knicks have done very well when they have gone to the 3-guard lineup.
During Muggsy's career, he's always been an 81 to 84% shooter. This year, he came in at 84.
Bogues got off to a great start with those 9 early points. Donald Royal is checking back in the game, replacing Del Curry. So the Hornets still not getting much from that shooting guard position. Ricky Pierce in the first 2 games, nor Del Curry so far in this one.
Yeah, well, now they're moving Rice back there, and they're saying, you know what, I don't know how much longer we can continue to go, so we'll put in a defender, and they put Royal on Houston. Interesting matchup.
Royal has some size on Allen Houston.
Well, they're going to hold it down, run down the clock a little bit here.
There's a differential of about 4 seconds or so, maybe a little less, between the shot clock and the game clock. It's a 9-point lead. Here's Childs for 3. And the rebound is by Donald Royal. And the chance for the Hornets to get the last shot here as Muggsy Bogues throws it away. The Hornets a bit out of control at time. And Allen Houston, as well as Larry Johnson, having a monster first half. But Houston, with 18 points, including 4 from downtown, continues his outstanding play. And at the end of the first half, the New York Knicks lead the Charlotte Hornets by a score of 58 to 49.
This guy has taken the NBA by... Mom! Hi, Mom.
Allen Houston leading the way with 18 for the Knicks. They're 24 minutes away from going to the Eastern Conference semis. They lead the Hornets by 9. The Hornets are trailing the Knicks as you look at that score. Let's clarify that. Utah and the Clippers still to come here on TNT. The Knicks are leading the Charlotte Hornets in Game 3. Welcome to Atlanta and the Nike Halftime Report, along with Reggie Theus, Ernie Johnson, and our guest tonight is the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, Darryl Walker. Darryl, Charlotte jumps out 20-12, and then they can't maintain. What happened?
Well, they came out with a lot of emotion. I expected that because this is a big series for them, but they did not take good shots. Their shot selection has a lot to be desired. I think they got to get better shots, and they got to get back in transition. They're giving up too many easy layups.
New York just beating them at their own game, running them in the ground, man.
58-49 is the halftime score. The Knicks with the lead by 9 over the Charlotte Hornets. Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight could be the clincher in the Jazz-Clippers series. Utah, the top seed, leads 2-0. And while Karl Malone has averaged 33 points and better than 10 boards in the 2 games, he told our Scott Hastings something's not quite right.
Good news for you guys, you're 2-0. Bad news for the Clippers, you guys aren't happy the way you got to 2-0, actually.
No, we're not happy the way we got to 2-0, and I'm not really particularly happy. I had a flow going during the regular season that I never had before, and it was great. But right now, I don't have that going right now. I don't have that flow that I'm looking for, and hopefully I get it on Monday. If we get it on Monday, I'll tell you I got it. But right now, I'm not flowing like I want to.
Despite the fact they're not flowing, they lead 2-0, but that's not always been a comfortable position if you're the Utah Jazz. They've never swept a series, and when they've had 2-0 leads, it's always gone 5 games. They lost one of those, and when they lead 3-0 in a best-of-7, that one went the full 7. They go for the jugular tonight against the LA Clippers. If you're the Clippers and you're back at home, do you have a chance against this train in Utah?
Yeah, you have a chance if you're going to get some easy baskets. Not averaging 92 points, you don't have a chance against the Utah Jazz. Utah's averaging 105 points, you're only averaging 92. You have to get some easy baskets. Pooh Richardson and Derek Martin have to push the ball up to get some easy layups.
The Clippers just can't shoot the ball. I mean, I'm sitting there doing the game, doing the analyst for the game. I'm saying, somebody, give me the ball. I'll go in the corner and shoot a couple of jumpers for you. They play nice basketball, and then all of a sudden, nothing, niente. They just cannot put the ball in the hole.
You've been saying that since way back in the day. Just
always
give me the ball.
Always wants to shoot. Shoot.
Sure.
Oh, Mr. Hacker over here.
You got it. Some news on the coaching front. Celtic legend Larry Bird met with Pacers GM Donnie Walsh over the weekend. Walsh told our Brian Burwell today that he feels Bird could be a great head coach and that he's more prepared for that job right now than a lot of people realize. Walsh went on to tell Brian that he expects Pacers coach Larry Brown to resign when the two meet Wednesday. He's already given the Sixers and the Celtics permission to talk to Brown. And in Oakland today, Golden State fired Rick Adelman and his staff. The Warriors were 66-98 in Adelman's 2 years and have failed to make the playoffs the last 3. When the Nike halftime report continues, we will talk Grant Hill. Right now, the Knicks leading the Hornets 58-49. And we welcome you back to the Nike halftime report. New York has a halftime lead of 58-49 over the Charlotte Hornets as they go for a sweep. Last year, he got his first taste of the postseason, but Grant Hill and the Pistons were swept out of the first round. Last night at the Omni, Grant experienced a playoff win for the first time, and Brian Burwell caught up with him afterwards.
Detroit gets a 93-80 win to send this series back to Detroit, tied 1-1. And Grant, do you realize this is the first playoff victory for the Pistons since May 1st of 1992?
No, I didn't realize that. You know, we just want to come in here and get a win here in Atlanta. For a lot of us young guys, this is our first playoff win. You know, we haven't done too well. We haven't really been in the postseason in the past couple of years, and you know, we felt good last Friday. We felt we played well. We just didn't close out there at the end. Tonight we did what we didn't do on Friday.
Can you all close this thing out back home?
You know, we're just going to take it one game at a time. You know, we beat them on their home court. They could easily beat us on our home court. So we just want to go in, focus in on Tuesday's game, and try to get the win.
We got that nightly playing one game at a time. You got to love that. Game 3 in that 1-1 series tomorrow night on TNT, followed by the Suns and the Sonics. Daryl, Grant Hill, a guy that Doug Collins asks an awful lot of, and he delivers night in, night out.
Well, you're talking about a guy I think should get some MVP consideration. He leads his team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and he does it every night.
You know, I think the same thing, but then I see Michael go for 55, and I say it's no contest.
I said MVP consideration.
Exactly. On the Atlanta Hawks side of this series, Mookie Blaylock has not done much so far, Reggie. In fact, you look at his numbers regular season compared to the playoffs, and there's no comparison. They're way down. And on the defensive end, Doug Collins has kind of made sure he's not going to be a big factor.
No question. Mookie Blaylock is one of those kind of guys that his defense starts his offense. And against the Detroit Pistons, you know, Lindsey Hunter is not bringing the ball up, so therefore Mookie has not been in the mix defensively. He's been standing over in row G. Check out the spot shadow right there. Lindsey Hunter on the other side keeps him completely out of the defense. Mookie's used to getting his hands and everything, being involved completely in the game. Not involved in the game defensively, no shots.
And he has really struggled from the field in the first half. Both games combined, he has 2 points in those first 2 games. Back to put the wraps on the Nike halftime report in just a minute. The New York Knicks have a 58-49 lead over the Hornets. Allen Houston getting off. He's got 18.
And welcome back to the Hive here in Charlotte. The New York Knicks with 58 points in the first half, leading the Charlotte Hornets by a score of 58-49. And so the Hornets hope that there would be a different scenario in the third game. Hubie, the Knicks shooting over 50% of the series, hitting the threes. What do you have? The same story in the first half.
Right. Knicks came in shooting 57%, 50-7 at the half. 6 for 12 in threes. But a big key, 14 baskets in the paint, 12 layups. At the other end, they must get Divac in the game. He only has 3 points.
There you see the shooting. The Hornets at 48, but the Knicks at 57. And Allen Houston, 6 of 8 from the field.
Now just keep an eye on this now. This is just layup drill. You got Larry Johnson here. You have another one coming from the top. Same move. Takes his man off the dribble. Here we have Oakley laying it up. Now the reason why I want to bring this out is 12 layups is a lot for a half. The defense, the lack of rotation has not been there. And then when you look and you say to yourself, well, how do they have to come back? Anthony Mason, only 4 points, no assists. That is big. That means that Oakley and Buck Williams are stopping him, and then the rest of the guys are hugging the perimeter shooters, so they're not getting their customary three-point shot attempts.
Frank Sager caught up with the Hornets coach, Dave Cowens.
Well, Dave, as the coach, how frustrating was that half for you? And did you remind the players that their motto is hardball?
Why do you say that?
Looked like a pretty soft defensive effort.
You think so? I thought we got after them pretty damn good. They just made a lot of shots. I don't correlate made shots with soft defensive effort. I thought we got up on them full court and everybody gave a maximum effort, but they made a lot of tough shots. You know, they've made six three-pointers and they've made 12 layups. And some of them are off deflections and 3 other shots from somewhere around the floor. So, you know, just one of those things. We got to cut down on the layups.
All right, good luck in the second half.
All right.
Dave Cowens a little annoyed there, as he should be with his team's performance. There is Allen Houston, nothing to be annoyed at what he's done. 18 points, hitting the threes again, 17 for Johnson. Ewing has only 4, and Patrick Ewing has yet to make a field goal, and yet his team is up by 9.
Well, he only has 3 shot attempts, and he's been to the foul line where he's made 4 out of 6. But you have to give the Knicks a ton of credit because their ball movement and their continuity has been excellent. Now, if he's not involved, hey, so be it. You know, they're playing a beautiful ball game up to this point.
Chris Childs gets it down low to Ewing. He wants to get a chance to shoot more, loses the ball. And here is Muggsy Bogues. Knicks get back again, but Bogues misses the layup and picked in by Glenn Rice. Great follow by Glenn Rice, who has 20 points.
What an effort by Glenn Rice.
And another turnover. Del Curry brings it up. So the Hornets starting out here in the second half, perhaps the way they did in the first, when they grabbed an 8-point lead. Bogues open for 3. And
yes!
Muggsy Bogues with his second from downtown, and a 20-second timeout called by the Knicks immediately as the lead is cut to 4.
They needed that. 2 turnovers. The Knicks had a beautiful half. They only had 7, and for them, that's great. When you lead the league in turnovers, you know that you're happy with 7 at halftime. Right now, the coach has just got to regroup his ball club. This is excellent ball movement. A nice screen by Divac on Houston, and Muggsy Bogues sends it down.
16 for Muggsy Bogues. Rice has 20, and those have been the only scorers. No one else has more than 4 points on the Hornet team.
Now, right now for Charlotte in threes, they are 4 for 8. Muggsy Bogues 2 for 3. But I have to bring out a point in the first half. Muggsy Bogues, as great as he was, you're seeing something which you never see. 3 turnovers and only 1 assist.
Here is Childs driving the baseline, going out again.
Try to keep them perimeter. That's
Childs off balance, fires it up, and Mason gets the rebound. So the Charlotte Hornets coming out strong in the first minute or so here of this third quarter. Backing in against Charles Oakley. Now Childs double teamed, and Bogues going strong to the hoop. Here's Del Curry with a 3. That's what Del Curry has done. The all-time leading Charlotte Hornets scorer hits from downtown, and the Knick lead, which was 9, now is down to 1. An 8-0 run in the first minute and a half of this third quarter for the Hornets. And Ewing has it knocked away.
Yeah, that was good.
And a foul is called.
Good call.
Dave Cowens furious at that call over on the Charlotte bench.
Del Curry, one of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of this league, is only 1 for 4 in this series, and you saw the first. Now you're going to see it right there. That, oh, I tell you what, I thought that Divac got him. That ball just squirted out of his hand.
That's the 3rd foul on Divac. Here is Ewing, defended by Divac. Nearly 2 minutes going by. Ewing going baseline and lays it in. Patrick Ewing was determined. He is 1 for 4. That was his first basket of the game.
I'll tell you, that was a tough shot. That's one of the very few times I've ever seen him do that move.
His favorite shot, of course, is the fadeaway on the baseline. Here's Mason backing in against Larry Johnson, who wore different uniforms a year ago. And Divac off his hands as Mason misses the shot. The lead is 3. The Knicks have it, and a steal by Glenn Rice on a bad pass by Allen Houston. Rice opens for 3. And very rarely does Glenn Rice miss when he's open by that much downtown.
I tell you, he had an open look, Dick, and a great block out by Allen Houston on Curry.
Divac's out to meet Larry Johnson. Oakley is posting up against Mason, and Johnson misses a 3. Loose ball and laid in by Patrick Ewing. So Ewing coming out fiercely here in this third quarter, has 8 points.
Ewing is very alive. He's been doing a terrific job all night defensively, leaving his man, coming off, and putting an intimidating move on people who are going to the rim.
Lead is 5 as the Hornets got it down to 1.
This is the guy that's got to get going.
Divac 1 for 6 shooting in the first half. And a bounce. Divac looking for the foul, but it'll be the Hornets' possession.
Now remember, Divac is averaging 20 points. Now keep an eye on this rebound. You're going to see Patrick come right back. Got it right inside. He had got inside position on his man.
And here is Glenn Rice getting the shot off at the buzzer. And the Knicks bringing the ball up by 5. See if they withstood that early rush by the Hornets. Oakley setting a screen, and on the pick and roll, it passes off Oakley's hands out of bounds.
Yeah, a little
Hornets ball.
You try to tell guys, come off the screen and roll at least 2 bounces. Come off 2 bounces and make the defense react. Muggsy just missed that shot. That's the second one that he's put up a little too hard.
The Knicks have turned it over 4 times in 3.5 minutes here in the third, and Chris Childs has hit a 3, so a big basket silences the crowd again, and the Knicks again up by 8 points as Chris Childs has hit 2. Houston and Childs have 6 from downtown between them.
Yep. Childs 2 for 4.
Here is Curry in a crowd. Feed to Divac. They doubled Curry down low, and he fouled Divac, and that stops a 7-0 New York run.
Dick, the key to basketball is when your man leaves you on the inside to double team a guy in the lane, you have got to create the passing angle, and the guy can get it to you. That's the first time tonight we've seen Divac move to create a pass to get a layup.
Here is Allen Houston, who loses the ball to Mason. 3-on-2 for the Hornets, but Mason setting it up now, posting up against Johnson. Ewing showing the double.
Look out.
Childs is on Curry, who shoots anyway. Not a wise shot for Del Curry as he threw up an air ball from 3 with Childs in his face. Childs with a crossover dribble out to Allen Houston, who fires. And Mason out jumps Oakley for the rebound.
That's a big rebound.
9 rebounds for Anthony Mason, who's fouled by Oakley. No basket. 3 on Oakley now.
Now here we have Rice moving. Nice pass into Curry. See Patrick come and pick him up. Patrick's been doing that all night long. And Divac has been getting lost on the baseline. That's the first time that he's moved from that baseline spot into the lane, create the pass, get it, and score.
Muggsy Bogues gets a hand as he leaves. He hit a big 3 early here in this third quarter. Leaves with 16 points. Del Curry leaves as well. And in the game now, Tony Delk and Ricky Pierce, so a new set of guards for the Charlotte Hornets.
And right now, Delk and Pierce are only 1 for 7.
Mason hits the short jumper. That's Mason's shot. He's got 6, and the Knicks lead 65-61.
Right now, Charlotte has an explosive group out there. All 5 guys can score, but the key now is to defend.
Divac picking up Childs on the switch and makes him change his shot, but no one defends inside as Childs lays it up and in. The Hornets fell asleep after that first layup.
Now Childs is having an excellent game tonight. 8 points and 6 rebounds. He and Charlie Ward, you have to pay attention to them because they get to the offensive boards.
Mason strong to the hoop against Patrick Ewing after Rice was double-teamed and Rice found the open man.
Well, we've been saying that since the beginning of the game. Anytime Patrick picks you up and you're 8 to 10 feet away from the basket, take him strong off the dribble to the rim.
Halfway through this third quarter, and Allen Houston with the basket, and the Knicks lead 69-63. So Houston with 20 points to lead the Knicks. Rice has 20 to top Charlotte. 5:45 remaining third quarter. Rice cut off on the baseline by Johnson, loses the ball. Larry Johnson doing a good job. Jeff Van Gundy says maybe the best perimeter defender we have on this team.
I tell you, he moves his feet well.
Ewing misses in the lane as Divac playing with 3 fouls.
Yeah, Dave Collins is trying to get these guys to slow down. You have 3 key guys out here. You got to get Ricky Pierce, Divac, and Glenn Rice in the game also. They're looking for a double team here right now. That's one of the very few times we had a cutter, Dick. That time Rice went right down the middle. Nice move.
Mason with a great baseline move. Now with 10 points, 6 of them here in the third quarter. So Anthony Mason now starting to raise it a notch, and the Hornets trail by 4. Pierce starting Houston. 9 on the shot clock. Here's Ewing.
Nice.
As Divac tried to overplay him, and
he got burned. He got caught on the top side going for the steal. You can't do that unless you definitely have it, because that's just an uncontested layup.
Patrick Ewing now in double figures, and the Knicks up 71-65. Childs trying to knock the ball away from Delp. Mason with a great pass to Divac, who's fouled. Anthony Mason with a fine pass as Divac cutting again.
Yeah, they cut them double teaming. Once again, they always trap the pick and roll. Now keep an eye on Great. Rice went down the middle already. All right, they catch him in a rotation. Nice spin move back. At the other end, Ewing catches Divac high. Nice pass. Pass away from the defense.
Knicks leading 71-65, and it's a tall hurdle that the Hornets face. Only 5 teams in history have come back from an 0-2 deficit in a 5-game series to win it. Most recently was Bernie Bickerstaff's Nuggets against the Sonics in '94.
Well, then you look in '93, Phoenix did it with the Lakers, and then also New York came back 0-2 to defeat Boston in '90. So maybe it's something new in the '90s.
Dave Cowens hopes so, doing a tremendous job in his first year as coach of the Charlotte Hornets, winning 54 and losing 28, setting records for wins at home and on the road. They won 30 games at home, losing only 11. So Divac's making the free throws, and the Knicks lead is 4.
Yeah, they need to wake up Divac. He's in this series. He's getting 11 rebounds a game and 20 points. And at halftime, he told you only 3 points. So I'm glad to see him coming out of it.
Ewing short. Divac's doing a good job defending Patrick Ewing. 4-point lead for the Knicks, who are up at 1 point by 11. Mason again backing in against Larry Johnson. Ricky Pierce goes right back to him.
Plenty of time.
9 on the shot clock. And Anthony Mason beats Johnson to the hoop. So Anthony Mason and Patrick Ewing both coming alive here in the third quarter.
I like what he did, though. See, when he was covered, he passed out to Pierce. Pierce went right back to him.
71-69, and on the turnover, the Hornets with a chance to at least tie the game. And there is Pierce inside. Ricky Pierce gets his own rebound and lays it in. The score is tied at 71. 37-year-old Ricky Pierce with a big play, and the Knicks want a timeout.
This is nice. A nice ball fake. 2 defenders go by. They get a piece of that shot. Excellent hustle by Ricky to come back and put it in.
We are back at the Hive, and the fans waving their white handkerchiefs. The Charlotte Hornets have come back to tie this game after being down by 9 at the half at 71, but Charles Oakley gets free to give the Knicks the lead once again.
Yeah, there was a screen on the other side of the lane, Dick, and Glenn Rice got kicked off that time.
Anthony Mason has made a living out of low-post offense so far in the third quarter, now guarded by Patrick Ewing, and an illegal defense call against the Knicks. That's the first one tonight.
Yeah, that's the first one. The Knicks have been doing a very good job in not getting caught, because Mason has been down there at least 10 to 12 times, and their rotations have been excellent.
One thing the Knicks have not been doing well, which they had up until this point, protecting the ball.
Yeah, well, the only way that you can come back here right now, the New York Knicks have turned it over 6 times this quarter. We were praising them because they had only had 7 at halftime. And remember now, in games 1 and 2, the major keys for them pulling it out, they only turned it over 12 times a game.
Now they've waved off the illegal defense call after second thought. Pierce misses, and fighting for the offensive rebound, and it's last touched by the Knicks. Malik Rose, and you pointed out, Hubie, that every time we've seen him this year, he has been a force.
Oh, he's a battler. He makes it terrific. He takes terrific advantage of his time. He's a kid who comes off the bench, you know, in only 5 minutes. He gives you a couple of points, and he gives you, you know, key rebounds.
He was the 44th pick in the draft in the second round, and there is Mason working against Oakley with a spin move. Rose gets the offensive rebound, and it falls down into the hands of Johnson.
That's too bad he couldn't put that one down, because that's hard work. When you're on the offensive glass, there's a lot of contact.
Charlie Ward with a runner, and it's tipped up and in by Patrick Ewing. So Ewing playing strong. Didn't get many opportunities in the first half. Has 12 points, 8 here in this third quarter. And the Knicks are up by 4. Tony Delk has a shot blocked, and now a Knick foul is called.
Tony Delk just got bailed out. You know, he went down inside. He left his feet to pass. You never do that. You leave your feet to shoot first. They take it away, then you look for the pass. He was looking for a pass. He had no avenues. They came out of this with a lucky break.
Larry Johnson, who scored 17 points, none here in the third, goes to the bench. Allen Houston replaces him. Bugsy Bogues is back in as Delk sits down, and Ewing picking up the foul, his second. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Knicks lead by 4.
They're screening on the baseline. Oh, the anticipation.
And here is John Starks ahead of the field, and Starks has it blocked and a foul call on Ricky Pierce, and the crowd thought that Pierce had all ball.
Now, Joe Forte, he was right there. He was right on the call. He was sprinting, was right with them. Now, just keep an eye on this. A great steal by Oakley, and as he comes in here right now, you're going to see Muggsy step underneath him right there. Now, you got the block, but you had the body.
John Starks, who has only 4 points tonight, relatively quiet on the line, shooting 2 with 1:54 remaining in this third quarter. Starks makes the first, and right now let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. And coming up next on TNT, the Jazz and the Clippers. Jazz trying to close out the Clippers. Remember to catch all the scores and highlights at 11 o'clock on CNN with the simulcast of CNN SI. Nick Charles and Fred Hickman will have the latest from the NBA playoffs. Starks makes them both, and the Knicks lead by 5.
Now, Starks at halftime was only 1 for 4 from the floor. He only had 4 points. But you know that he's going to get up his shot attempts.
Let me correct the score. It is 77-71, so it's a 6-point lead, not a 5, as the Knicks have scored 6 in a row after the Hornets, and they're going to call an offensive foul as Rose was pushing off with his left hand. That was a good call.
Well, you know, the easy shots are few and far between, but watch the arm right here. See the arm? Just knocked the defender right out of there. Buck Williams.
Buck Williams replacing Patrick Ewing for the Knicks, who has scored 8 of his 12 points here in the third quarter. Now with 1:35 to go in the third, the Knicks up by 6. They're up by 9 at the half. The Hornets came back to tie the score. Charlie Ward misses an open jumper.
As much as Charlotte tried to run, anytime that they get an opportunity, the Knicks transition defense tonight is excellent.
Glenn Rice in the lane.
Nice.
Mason. Glenn Rice extending full. Looked like he could have shot, but instead found Mason.
Dick, that's the third beautiful pass tonight. People moving without the ball on the baseline, and Rice finding it.
77-73, the Knicks lead. Oakley left open. And Pierce gets the rebound with under a minute to go, 50+. And the Hornets down by 4, so they have made a run here in the third quarter. They're trying to avoid elimination, trailing 2-0 in the best of 5 to the Knicks in the first round. Mason open, and Rose, timing was just off on that rebound, and the Knicks come back. Houston out of bounds, last touched by Charlotte.
Oakley is just one of the best that we have in the league in rebounding and kicking the ball out. Now this is just a watch the elevation, see the 2 defenders, that leaves the 1 man open. The Knicks are great sending the center or either forward, pick you up. That's when you've got to move and create that pass.
Lottie Divac replaces Malik Rose as John Starks hits the basket. He has 7, and the Knicks up by 6.
That was a beautiful screen that time to set up. Starks coming to the ball.
Bogues handling it, and Ward guarding him as the Hornets playing for the last shot of this quarter. About 2.5 seconds differential. Bogues controlling. This could be a big possession for Charlotte going into the fourth quarter. Bogues loses possession, throws it away, Muggsy Bogues controlled it, and the 24-second clock expired. That was not a pretty offensive sequence.
Now, you got to understand, you know, it's something we've been saying. You know he's not right. They're not making any excuses because he's playing with his heart. He's been doing a great job offensively, but he's got 4 turnovers tonight. For him, that's usually a month.
4.1 seconds remain in the third quarter, Hubie, and if the Knicks get a basket, they'll just about make up that margin that they had at the end of the half. Starks loses it, and the Hornets get it back with 1.3 showing on the clock.
Well, you can make a catch. You might get away with 1 bounce. Depends upon how fast the man is with his thumb.
Here's Divac throwing it into the crowd, and Mason has the shot, and the crowd wanted a foul, but Anthony Mason had his shot blocked inside. And that is the end of the third quarter. Crowd booing the non-call on Mason's shot, and after 3, the New York Knicks lead the Charlotte Hornets 79-73. The Hornets making a comeback. Mason playing a big part. Start of the fourth quarter, and the Knicks lead by 6. They outscored the Hornets 8-2 after Charlotte tied it up at 71, but Glenn Rice starts the scoring in the fourth.
At the end of 3, the Knicks are shooting 55, Charlotte 46. New York 7 for 16 in threes, Charlotte 6 for 11. Knicks winning the battle of the boards by 4. And then in turnovers, the Knicks 14, Charlotte 10.
And add another Knick turnover to that, Hubie. Chalk another one up, and the Hornets trying to make a run here. They face elimination if they do not come back and win this game. Trailing 2-0 in the best of 5. Glenn Rice and the rebound by Buck Williams. Rice tonight has 22 points, coming off a Hornet playoff record 39 in Saturday's game 2. Allen Houston guarded by Glenn Rice. Has it deflected away and loses it. And the Knicks turn it over for the second straight time down court.
Games 1 and 2. The game was tied in the fourth quarter in both contests, but the Knicks, through execution, outscored Charlotte 27-18 for a +9. Let's see what happens tonight because we have Bogues in the game. Let's see if the execution will improve and they cut down on their turnover.
Divac with a great pass to Ricky Pierce cutting, and it's a 2-point game now. Here is Starks, who loses the ball into the hands of Pierce. So 3 straight times down. The Knicks have turned it over. And Muggsy Bogues with the crowd on its feet. He's got Mason, Divac, Pierce, and of course the incomparable Glenn Rice. Charlotte looking to tie it up with 1.5 minutes gone by. 5 on the shot clock. Divac working against Charles Oakley, goes up, and Oakley makes a play, and the 24-second buzzer expires. Let's see if there was a foul before it did, and there was. And it's against Charles Oakley, and that's 4 on the Knicks' top rebounder.
Well, Divac made a very nice move, and then once the ball was blocked, he made a great recovery and understood that the clock was down. So he makes a move here, and Oakley, they do good defense here. They strip him, but then he beats Oakley to the ball and then has the presence of mind to get up, and Buck Williams over his back.
Meanwhile, Patrick Ewing comes back in the game. Buck Williams stays in there as Oakley goes out with his 4th foul. So the Knicks have Ewing, Buck Williams, and the 3 guards. Divac, now 4 of 6 from the line, hits the first free throw. Coming up next, the Utah Jazz, the premier team in the Western Conference, trying to nail it down. They lead 2-0 against the LA Clippers with a great job Bill Fitch's team did. He wanted to get into the playoffs badly. He did. Clippers fighting for survival tonight. Coming up next on TNT. Meanwhile, we have a tie at 79. Charlie Ward trying to break in, and Buck Williams lays it in, and the Hornets were standing around under the basket.
Well, you know, they trapped. The man rotated down. Ricky Pierce and Mason never moved. Never moved to help.
So the Knicks regain the lead by 2. Hornets led by 8 early on, but it's been all Knicks, and now a bad pass by Divac, and Allen Houston going strong to the hoop. Out of control. Rice saves it to Bogues.
Nice.
Here's Mason, 2-on-1. Here's Pierce, and he lays it in to tie the game again.
Great pass by Bogues, a terrific pass by Mason, and a great finish by Ricky Pierce.
Tied at 81 with 2.5 gone by here in the fourth quarter. Buck Williams posting up against Divac. And driving in against Vlade and a foul, and that'll be 4 on Vlade Divac.
I tell you, I don't know what Vlade Divac was supposed to do in this situation. I can understand Dave Cowens being upset because it looked like he was taking it right into his chest from our angle. Now here we have Bogues finding Mason. Now watch Mason thread the needle here. Beautiful pass. Ricky Pierce realizing a shot block. Bring it up on the other side.
And here is tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Knicks have been out-rebounded in the series, but not tonight as they lead 32-28 in the duel between Ewing and Divac. And Ewing with 12 points, Divac 9, and Ewing also with 8 boards.
We'd like to show you anytime that there is a screen and roll, the Knicks will always trap the dribbler. Now down here you're having movement like this. Watch Buck Williams come right down. 2 defenders, Mason and are right there, and they allow the guy to lay it up. Now just watch it. Here comes Buck right down the middle. Mason too late. All right, and then they allow another layup. They just have got to react.
Buck Williams on the free throw line gives the Knicks the lead. By the way, that last pass that we showed on the replay, Mason's assist, and he averaged nearly 6 assists this season a game. That was his first tonight. Buck Williams hits them both, and the Knicks are up by 2. Mason bringing the ball up with Muggsy Bogues with him, and they got Divac, Ricky Pierce, as well as Glenn Rice. Johnson trying to stay with Mason, who's now isolating the low post. The double team for the moment. 5 on the shot clock. And here's Bogues. Goes low to Divac with 2. And Divac shot blocked by Patrick Ewing as the 24-second buzzer expires.
That was excellent defense by the Knicks. The Knicks jumped out on that potential screen and roll and then dropped right back onto their own men, forcing Mason, so that play took up an awful lot of time.
Third block by Ewing, reminiscent of Ewing's block on Mason, who hesitated at the Garden in game number 2 Saturday. Now Ewing with the ball against Mason as they bang in, and the loose ball, great play by Mason as he jarred it loose. And now the Hornets trailing by 2, looking to tie it up again. They tied it up after being down by 11 at 71.
They've got to get this guy with the basketball some looks.
Rice, rebound by Buck Williams. Rice has 22 points. He had 14 at the half.
You can see that was a very tough shot because he was shooting it up over the top of the defender.
And Buck Williams gets free inside to lay it in. So once again, the Knicks getting a lot of easy shots under the basket, and a timeout called by the Hornets.
With a minimum of movement, people are opening up, coming from the opposite side of the lane for layups. Now I'd like to show you, Anthony Mason has the basketball here. Here comes Divac over to trap him. His man is Buck Williams. Muggsy Bogues is playing a guy here. But as Buck Williams comes into this area here, you get the pass and the layup. Now you say, has that been going on all night? That's what we've been telling you. That's been going on all night long. And as Buck Williams lays it up, that is their 21st layup of the game.
Buck Williams doing a great job off the bench in 15 minutes, has 10 points and 4 rebounds. And a Knick foul, illegal defense in this one. The first one was waved off. This one will count. And that's the first illegal defense called against either team tonight. You made up a very interesting point moments ago as you look at the shooting right now. The Knicks over 50%. Charlotte 46%. Is that the Hornets have to get the ball to Glenn Rice. Rice is only 2 of 6 from the field this half. That's too few shots for the premier score.
Right, too few shots, Nick, and also he's never open coming off of the screen. Now you got to give the Knicks some credit for that because they're fighting through and they're right with him.
Mason gets it out to Bogues. Pierce to Mason. Knicks doing a great defensive job. And Divac crashing the boards, tipped up and in, and the rebound coming down. Larry Johnson made the rebound, and a good one tipped away by Bogues. But the Hornets are not able to get really good looks on it.
No, they're not. And you saw the penetration. You saw 3 blue shirts cut him off. When that shot went up, Divac was open. They recovered and got back to Divac and challenged both of those taps.
85-81, the Knicks lead. Defense keying their effort in this one with 7.5 minutes to go. The Knicks looking to close out the Hornets in 3 straight tonight. Here is Starks off the screen, fires, and John Starks from downtown.
In your heart.
11 points. 6 Knicks are in double figures tonight, led by Houston's 20, and the guards are doing it again.
We have hardly mentioned Starks' name here.
The Knicks now defending again. Buck Williams against Anthony Mason with 8 on the shot clock. And there is Ricky Pierce. And Pierce misses a 3. And Buck Williams, look out, with Starks releasing early. John Starks gets the basket. Starks with a big 5 has quieted the crowd, and the Knicks have opened up a 9-point lead after the game was tied at 81. 6:44 to go, and this could be the moment of truth for the Charlotte Hornets if they are to survive to play a game 4. Divac. Bogues for 3, and he's got it, and that couldn't have come at a better time for them.
Wow, what a big basket, Dick. Every time Glenn Rice comes off of a curl, Patrick Ewing jumps out on him. Divac is open.
John Starks picked up by Mason. Here's Ewing, knocked away, last touch by Ricky Pierce.
The Knicks, good awareness. Buck Williams and Oakley continue to look up the floor. The Knicks are always releasing one of the guards, and they've been able to get themselves a few easy layups.
5 on the shot clock. Starks gets it down to Larry Johnson, who goes strong to the hoop.
How's the pass off, so they'll take it on the side.
And that is only the 2nd team foul against the Hornets. Larry Johnson obviously seeing a former fan that he adored when he was here in Charlotte, saying hello, greeting him. Charlie Ward at the point, guarded by Bogues. And Pierce bumps John Starks, and that's the 3rd Hornet foul.
This is a replay. Now just watch as the pass goes out. See Ewing step out. Divac is open. Unfortunately, he didn't make the clean catch, but that is there. Anytime that Rice comes off that curl, Divac is open.
Under 6 minutes to go, and Larry Johnson fouled by Mason. So quickly, the Hornets picking up 3 fouls in the last 35 seconds or so, and that's 4. And the next one will put them over the limit. Big doubleheader tomorrow night on both TBS and TNT. It all starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time with the Miami Heat against the Orlando Magic. Boy, the Magic have dwindled down. They have offered no resistance to the Miami Heat. Hawks Pistons at 8 o'clock on TNT. And then the second half of the doubleheader, both on TBS and TNT. Rockets and T-Wolves at 9:30 on TBS, and the Sonics and Suns game 3 with the series 1-1 at 10:30 on TNT.
Now here's a young man, Jeff Van Gundy, who's done a terrific coaching job this year. 57 wins, the Knicks. Pat Riley won 57 twice. Red Holzman won 57 once. And then Riley and Holzman both won 60. So here this young guy has the 3rd best record, you know, in the history of the Knicks. And they're talking about that if they don't do XXXX in these playoffs, that you could be replaced. I mean, we're getting to the point that it's been very difficult to be a head coach in this league.
Glenn Rice with 5 on the shot clock. Now Ricky Pierce hits a 3.
Nice.
So Pierce from downtown, and Pierce, who did not score in the first half, now has 9 points, and the lead is 5. But you're right about Jeff Van Gundy. He has done a marvelous job and has handled the team extremely well. John Starks misses a 3, and Divac gets the rebound. Of course, if New York and Miami advance to the next round, Stan Van Gundy, who's Jeff's brother, assistant for Pat Riley, would be on the staff, and the 2 brothers would go against each other of sorts.
Well, that was a good look. They came off that screen and roll, wide open.
And a timeout. Bogues Bogues, who missed the last shot, by the way, with a career playoff high tonight of 19 points. Playing despite the hamstring problem. Coming up next here on TNT, the Utah Jazz with Karl Malone leading the way. A great year for Malone. Arguably the best power forward ever to play the game against the LA Clippers. Coming up after this game. You mentioned Red Holtzman, and he's on the left. Ernie Grunfeld, the president, in the middle, and there is Dave Checketts, who is the overall chairman of the Knicks, on the right.
Well, there's been a lot of pressure put on the coaching staff here this year, because once they signed Larry Johnson and also Houston and Childs, they brought in, the statement was made, we now have enough power to win the entire thing. So anything less is going to be, you know, kind of a downer. Now, that was a great shot clock, but let's see what happens. They got to get past this in the first series.
It was Ernie Grunfeld who said the Knicks now have what they need to do it. Of course, that puts a lot of pressure on the coach, and the coach has responded. This team has played extremely well. They're looking good. Playing well again tonight. Here is Divac, gets it out to Bogues. Bogues with a fake. Passes up the shot.
You gotta shoot
and Ricky Pierce misses at the 24-second buzzer. So the Hornets waste an opportunity, and Starks is fouled, trying to go around.
And that's a penalty also. The shooting the penalty right now. This is just a strong move here. Now just watch this block. Recovery. Good block by Divac. Since the score was tied 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, 81-81, the Knicks have been able to step out and then answer everything. And I know we still have 4:14 to go, but like we said, in games 1 and 2, and once again tonight, Charlotte's been able to tie it in the fourth quarter, and then the Knicks have been able to execute.
The Hornets have come up empty. They have run out of gas in the fourth quarter in the first 2 games of the series. Will the same story prevail? And as you mentioned, the Hornets in the penalty, and the Knicks still with 3 fouls to give, and that could be big with 4:14 to go. The foul was on Rice, his 4th. Starks with 1 free throw has 14, and a 6-point lead for the New York Knicks as we get close to the 4-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Divac down low against Patrick Ewing. The double by Buck Williams. Looking for help. 5 on the shot clock. The Knicks again stifling the Hornets. Ricky Pierce inside the arc hits, and it's a 4-point game. So Pierce has come up big with 11 points after going scoreless in the first half.
Now you like that. The Knicks ball rotation was fantastic defensively, and then it forced them to get that one off right at buzzer. That's why you pick up a guy like Ricky Pierce. He's been in this situation so many times.
Here is Patrick Ewing shooting over Mason. Not a good shot for Patrick. And here come the Hornets down by 4 with 3:20 to go. Remember, the Knicks still have 3 fouls to give. Pierce and Bogues with Divac, Rice, and Anthony Mason for the Charlotte Hornets. They trail 2-0 in the best of 5. Here's Glenn Rice missing badly with the jumper. And Rice again struggling from the field in the second half. And with 3 minutes to go, the Knicks with a 4-point lead, not taking any time, not rushing anything.
Yeah, 2-man game. Starks and Larry Johnson. They're going to clear out and let him go.
Johnson guarded by Rice. Mason doubling. Here's Ewing firing away and hits Patrick Ewing, as he has done so many times, hitting the big perimeter shot, and the Knicks lead by 6, and a timeout called by the Hornets.
Mason went down inside to double team Larry Johnson and could not get back. An excellent pass and a beautiful completion by Patrick Ewing. There's your double team. Here comes Mason's back. Not in time.
Getting down to crunch time, and the Knicks leading 95-89. The Knicks with 3 full timeouts remaining and 3 fouls to give still. Charlotte with 2 full timeouts and a 20. Glenn Rice, who had 39 points in game 2, has 22 tonight. 1 for 4 here in the fourth quarter. On Saturday in Game 2, he missed 4 of his last 5 shots and did not get a basket for 8.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And that has been the Hornets' problem down the stretch.
Dick, he's averaging 41.5 minutes a game in games 1 and 2. The first half he played 22 minutes. He has not been substituted for in this half.
Here's Ricky Pierce finding Divac. Divac going in with a hook shot. Bloody Divac brings the Hornets to within 4 with 2:21 remaining. Divac tonight has 11.
Plenty of time here. What you need, defensive stops. You must hold the Knicks to 1 shot attempt.
Chris Childs guarded by Bogues, and here's Ewing. He hit one moments ago and hits another one. Patrick Ewing with 2 crushing jumpers, and the Knicks are up by 6 again with 2 minutes to play.
They ran a down screen for Ewing, and when he came up, Mason got caught on the screen.
Ewing has 12 of his 16 points here in the second half. He has played big. Here is Bogues trying to find some look. He was short with it, and the rebound by Ewing. And a 6-point lead with 1:40 to go. And the Knicks trying to nail it down and looking good. They played well tonight, even in the beginning when they trailed by 8.
Now Ewing has Rice on him. You can see that force the double team. You can come right out of it.
And losing the ball on the drive was Giles. Here is Glenn Rice. Knicks get back defensively.
I'm shocked that he didn't take that to the hole.
Because the Hornets need points.
That's right.
They don't have much time to waste, and the Hornets will call a timeout, leaving them with 1 full timeout and a 20.
Now down on the down screen right here, you're going to see Ewing come off. You see Mason got hung up on that screen. Patrick playing big.
The Knicks leading 97-91, a minute and 15 seconds away from eliminating the Charlotte Hornets in 3 straight and moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Coming up next on TNT, the Jazz and the Clippers. Glenn Rice, 22 points, but has not gotten many shot opportunities here in the fourth quarter.
Now you have a minute and 15 seconds ago. It does not have to be a 3 unless it's a wide open 3. Main thing is to score quickly. If you can get the quick score, and then you're in pretty good shape.
Knicks only 1 foul to give. Divac gets the basket. They scored quick enough.
Well, what happened? Once again, he came off the curl. 2 guys ran at him. Divac was wide open.
And Glenn Rice has
offensive foul.
Offensive foul as Bogues is fouled by Chris Childs. So Childs with his first foul with 1:09 to go. The Hornets trailing by 4 get the ball back.
Now just watch Bogues. See, he anticipated. Excellent anticipation.
Knicks have 1 foul to give. Inside 2 minutes, that's all you get. Ricky Pierce brings the basket. Here is Mason fighting his way in. Loose ball. And it comes down into the hands of the Knicks. Chris Childs, who calls a timeout. Childs calls a timeout as he was on the brink of stepping out of bounds. And the Knicks have it with 58.1 seconds to go.
Now they had 2 good looks, Pierce and Mason. Keep an eye on Patrick Ewing right here defensively. Divac sets a screen. Here comes Glenn Rice to the top. Ewing will step out to help. Divac steps up. They make the pass, and it's a layup. That's been there all night long. Now just watch as the pass comes out. You got your double team. Divac is wide open underneath. Now that is there. The main thing right now, Knicks are going to move the ball to half court. You have 58 seconds to go. Knicks are in good shape with 2 fulls. Charlotte with only 1 full and 1:20. Main thing right now, no foul. You've got to hold the Knicks to 1 shot attempt.
And this is a crucial defensive sequence for the Hornets, the most important one of the season for them.
You only got a 4-point difference here. Now you don't want to let them get it to 6.
Oakley gets it over, and there is Larry Johnson hitting a 3. And Larry Johnson, the former Hornet, has put the dagger through the heart of this team, leading 100-93. Larry Johnson, and everyone talking all season long about how Anthony Mason and the Hornets got the better of the trade with the Knicks, but Johnson getting the last laugh here.
Now you're going to see they caught him in a double team, and they made the second pass. And Larry Johnson knocked that one down with a rotating guy running right in his face.
22 points for Larry Johnson. And if you want to know about the Knicks trying to win in 3 in a row, not only do you want to knock a team out, but the Knicks are looking to sweep to keep pace with the probable sweep of the Miami Heat against the Orlando Magic. The Heat would be the Knicks' next opponents, and they want to get the same kind of arrest off. The Miami Heat go against Orlando tomorrow in Game 3, but this was a crushing three-point shot by Larry Johnson.
Now, it's just good ball movement. See, they trapped Starks, and they rotated off of Larry Johnson, and there it is. And Ricky Pearson ran as hard as he could to get to it. Give Larry Johnson a lot of credit. He had to make that one over the top of the defense.
And Hubie, besides playing brilliant defense tonight, overall team defense, the Knicks continue their story of shooting the lights out. 56% from the field overall, 9 of 17 from 3. So the Knicks took it on the road and continued to shoot brilliantly.
Now, you know, there's 44 seconds left there. Anybody who's been around the NBA a number of years, the lights are not out. You know, you still have one timeout remaining, plus a 20. You're only down 7. You've got to make a score right now. Now, the key is, once again, if you take it from 7 to 5, you can get a quick 2. Now you got to get 2 possessions, but as soon as you score, you must put on your full court defense. Go for the steal. Clock management now.
Glenn Rice will inbound. Jazz Clippers coming up next on TNT. And the Knicks are going to bring Allen Houston into the game. And Oakley will go out. So the Knicks,
well, they're doing right now, they're matching up with Charlotte, who have all of their three-point shooters on the floor.
And this was a record-breaking three-point shooting team, and they're going to need at least 2 here. Rice for 3, misses the rebound by Patrick Ewing. And Ewing with 33.5 seconds to go, and Childs is fouled by Ricky Pierce. A 7-point lead, and if Childs hits the free throws here, it'll be very, very tough for the Hornets to come back.
There's always strategy of, do you go for a quick 2 and then play defense, play clock management, go for the steal, then foul, and then work the clock? Or do you come out and shoot a 3? Because if you miss the 3, you just saw what's going to happen here right now. The game goes from 7 to potential 8 to potential 9.
And of course, on the other side of the coin, you have a Glenn Rice who was brilliant in that this year. He made him all season long. But Childs makes the first free throw, and the crowd starts to make its way toward the exits. They can sense that the Charlotte Hornets, who beat the Knicks 3 out of 4 in the regular season, are heading out in 3 straight. 7 players in double figures for the Knicks tonight, led by Larry Johnson with 22, and the big three-point basket to put it away. But there are 26.4 seconds remaining, and 24 seconds for the Hornets.
That was a smart foul. You had a foul to give, let them dribble, run time off the clock, then foul, force them to take the ball out of bounds on the side.
Curry inside the arc hits. That's a 2-point basket, making the score 102 to 95. And here is John Starks. They got to foul him soon, and they finally foul Starks with 17.7. So from now on, it's a matter of the Knicks making their free throws. Allen Houston with 20 with 18 in the first half tonight.
A very impressive thing about the Knicks tonight is that they got layups time and time again. We stopped counting at 24 layups, okay, which is definitely the difference in this game. Then they were able to answer with excellent ball movement. And then, let's face it, Patrick Ewing has come up big here in the second half, made some critical shots for them. But you had to love their defense. They were in the face of one of the best shooting teams that we have in this NBA. They're first in the league in shooting threes. They're second in foul shooting, and they were fourth in field goal percentage. And the Knicks were able to reduce them and dominate them in the shooting.
16 for Starks, and you mentioned Patrick Ewing, who scored 12 of his 16 in the second half with 10 rebounds. The Knicks, who definitely did not play with overconfidence tonight, doing what they set out to do, keeping an eye on Miami going against Orlando in the 3rd game of their series tomorrow. And the Knicks dribble it out and have eliminated the Charlotte Hornets in 3 straight. The New York Knicks defeat the Hornets tonight by a score of 104-95 and have advanced into the Eastern Conference semifinals against the winner of the Miami-Orlando series. So the Knicks, who finished this regular season nailing down third place, winning 4 of their last 5, including a finale win in Chicago, continue their sizzling play by sweeping the Hornets 3 straight. Right now, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Larry, you spent 5 years in the Hornets uniform. Dick Stockton mentioned all year you took a lot of heat, people saying Mason was the better trade for them. How important was this series for you to come out here and show that, yes, maybe they got the better of the deal?
Well, you know, I've been fighting that the whole year, but honestly, and you know, Craig, I'll talk to you honestly, it wasn't about Larry Johnson and another player. It was about the New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. And we're not out to beat New York. I'm not out to, we're not out to beat Charlotte. I'm not out to show up Charlotte. I'm out to win a championship. And we got to think we have the chemistry and the quality of talent to do it. And that's what we out to try to do. We not, it just, you know, it just came down to it. The first round we had to play Charlotte, and we went out and did what we had to do. But, you know, it's not like I'm overwhelmed and overjoyed for the extra feeling that, you know, I came back and beat my home team. You know, I thought they had a hell of a year this year.
You made some great shots in this arena, but what about the 3 you made right over here in front of their bench?
I felt it, felt good. My man Charles Oakley gave me a hell of a pass, and I knew the shot clock was winding down, and I flicked it and let it go. You know, like I said, I played here 5 years, so I know the court pretty well.
Obviously, Glenn Rice was sensational again, but in the fourth quarter, you held him to 1 out of his last 5 shots.
I think that more so that I held him, I think his team held him. I don't think he got the ball as much as he was getting earlier, and I think they went away from going to him. And, you know, I was overwhelmed by that, but, you know, I don't think it was more so what we was doing. I think it was more so what they was doing.
You've taken some heat, but you still have a lot of good friends here, including Muggsy Bogues. How much were you hurting for him?
I'm hurting. You know, it's ironic. The last 2 or 3 years when I was here, even this year, every playoff time, Muggs been hurt. And you hate to see that with a guy with as big as heart and a great person like Muggs. What people really don't know about Muggs is not only is he a hell of a basketball player, he's a great person off the floor.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck in round 2. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. So as we look at the brackets, pencil in the New York Knicks. They sweep the Charlotte Hornets and will play the winner of the Miami-Orlando series as the Heat face the Orlando Magic tomorrow, and a chance to close out the Magic in 3 in a row. And our Bud player of the game is Patrick Ewing, once again coming up big. Ewing with 2 major outside jumpers to set up Larry Johnson's 3-point dagger. Ewing with 16 points, 12 coming in the second half, and 10 rebounds, 11 rebounds on 50% shooting, is our Bud player of the game. Well, Hubie, the Knicks withstood the early surge by the Charlotte Hornets and really played a textbook game. I know you, as a coach, have to appreciate what they did tonight.
Yeah, I think you have to admire their defense throughout the entire series. Just playing Mason one-on-one and then hugging the 3-point shooters was great strategy. And then their perimeter people going small, playing the 3 guys, Houston, Starks, and Childs. Very, very big. And then the icing on the cake, Larry Johnson.
7 players in double figures for the Knicks, and Glenn Rice had 22 points to lead the Charlotte Hornets.